Now let us continue with the theorem where it states that the analytic function w is equal to f of z is defined in the region of a z plane is conformal at all the points where f dash of z is not equal to 0. So I hope you have understood the statement. It states what any analytic function defined in the region of a z plane, it will be conformal at those points where f dash of z is not equal to 0. The same thing will be proving now. So for that, let us consider two planes. One is the z plane and the other is the w plane as shown in the figure. Okay, now I am considering a curve, okay, in the z plane. Since there is a transformation f of z, okay, w is equal to f of z, there will be a corresponding curve, say c dash, corresponding to c under the transformation w is equal to f of z. And I am considering two neighboring points a and b on the curve c. Okay, let us join the points a, b, so that the distance, the point a coordinate, I will call a and b are the points, say z comma z plus delta z. So I should say if a is represented by the point z, then b will be represented by z plus delta z. Okay, let us join the 2 points a and b, and let us draw a small parallel line to x-axis so that the AB is making an angle of theta with the x-axis. Similarly, those all corresponding things will happen on C dash. Let us consider point A dash corresponding to A, B dash corresponding to B. Both will be neighboring points. Since these two are neighboring, the corresponding images will also be neighboring in C dash. Okay, let us join A dash, B dash, and let us once again draw a parallel line to U axis, and let theta dash be the angle made by the A dash, B dash. Okay, so in this case, since this is a W plane, A dash will be represented by W. Correspondingly, B dash will also be represented by W plus delta W. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Now, as yes, the distance AB is nothing but the distance AB. The distance AB is nothing but z plus delta z minus z, is it not? Yes, it's the modulus of, the distance AB. If I want to evaluate, it will be the modulus of the difference between the two, or I should be getting it as delta z. Means the AB is a complex number, say delta z, and this delta z is making an angle of theta with the x-axis. Similarly, delta W is the distance A dash B dash. Okay, I can take modulus of A dash B. Okay, so therefore, right. So I will write it as AB is equal to delta Z and A dash B dash is equal to delta W, and delta W is making an angle of theta dash, we can say. I hope this point is clear to everyone with the x-axis, or in this case it is u-axis. Once this is clear to all of you, now tell me what will be the amplitude of delta W divided by delta Z. Now since both of them, they are complex numbers, okay, so the amplitude of any two numbers, what is amplitude of Z1 divided by Z2? As per the basic theory of complex numbers, we have learned that it will be amplitude of Z1 minus the amplitude of Z2. Using this, we can rewrite this as amplitude of delta W minus the amplitude of delta Z. Now since delta Z is making an angle of theta with the x-axis, that is nothing but the amplitude of it. Okay, the distance is AB. Modulus of this gives you AB, distance AB. Similarly, the modulus of this gives you distance A dash B dash. Okay, so what is the angle? Angle is nothing but theta dash and theta. So delta W is making an angle of theta dash, whereas delta Z is making an angle of theta with the x-axis. So we can write it as theta dash minus theta. Okay, once this is done, okay, so I'll take limits on both the sides now. Limit as delta Z tending to 0 I will take. Okay, so amplitude of delta W divided by delta Z will be equal to limit as delta Z tending to 0 of theta dash minus theta. So this is what you get. Okay, because both of them are equal. Now let us understand what is limit as delta z tending to 0, amplitude of delta w divided by delta z. Let us consider only LHS. Here LHS is what? Limit as delta z tending to 0, amplitude of delta w divided by delta z. Now I can take that amplitude outside and apply limit only to this fraction. Okay. Yes. Now as per the definition, if w is a function of z, delta w divided by delta z, limit as delta z tending to 0 is what? Is it not f dash of z? Right? Is it not f dash of z? This means this is f dash of z. It is nothing but amplitude of f dash of z. Okay. So you have got limit as delta z tending to 0, amplitude of this as amplitude of f dash of z. Now what is been given to you? It's by assumption or by the theorem. It states that f dash of z is not equal to 0. It is only conformal at the points. We have to prove that it is only conformal at those points where f dash of z is not equal to 0. Means we have to consider f dash of z not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, since it is a complex number, let us consider it as r into e to power some I alpha. Let it be existing and let it will be this. Okay, so that modulus of f dash of z is r and amplitude of f dash of z will be alpha, that is this angle. Okay, right? So using this amplitude of f dash of z we have got. So therefore limit as delta z tending to 0, amplitude of delta w divided by delta z is equal to amplitude of f dash of z, and just now we got it to be alpha, is it not? Now this alpha, see, this f dash of z is not equal to 0, means we can assume that it is some complex number. Okay, so that complex number I am representing it like this. Okay, so from here this will be modulus, r is going to the modulus of that complex number, and let that be amplitude be alpha. So since amplitude of alpha f dash of z we are considering, so it will be alpha from here. Okay, now since this is equal to here, now LHS is equal to already RHS we have done it. So limit as delta z tending to 0, theta dash minus theta is actually equal to alpha, we can say. Okay, now what do you mean by limit as delta z tending to 0? What do you mean by this? It means that if delta z is tending to 0, this chord is, the distance between AB is turning to 0 means what? This chord turns to a tangent at the point A, is it not? Yes, it turns to a tangent at the point A. So the same thing I can write here, limit as B tending to A. As delta z tending to 0, it is as good as saying B tending to A. Theta dash minus theta is equal to alpha. Okay, so this is what we get. Now I hope up till here everything is clear to all of you. Now, yes, taking this as the background, what we will do is, we will draw another two curves passing through the point A here and the corresponding curve at A dash. Okay, see here like this. Let me draw it once again, 1 minute, it should not be, yes. It should not even mix with the chord AB. I just want it to be separate so that it should be clearly seen to you. Okay, so now there is another curve, say C1, passing through the point A, and the corresponding curve I will call it as C1 dash, passing through the point A dash. Okay, now we will consider a point P other than A on the curve C1. Okay, yes, the two curves, now you can see that the curve C and the curve C1, they are intersecting at the point A. Okay, and correspondingly the curve C1 dash and C dash, they are intersecting at the point A dash. Okay, and I will, since I have considered one point P on C1 on the Z plane, on W plane, the corresponding plane, let me call it as P dash. And let us join the 2 points A, P dash. Okay. Now this angle, the angle made by the chord AB with the x-axis was theta. So now this angle, the chord AP with the x-axis will make. Now that is this angle. I hope you can see this. This angle I am going to call it as theta 1 because it is corresponding to C1. Similarly, A dash P dash is also making an angle with the x-axis, that is this angle, this complete angle. This angle is theta dash. Okay, this small angle with A dash B dash with the x-axis, I mean the u-axis in this case. And here A dash P dash is making an angle of theta 1 dash, I can say, because it is corresponding to C1 dash. Okay, so right. So we are just considering the point A, the same point through which we are drawing another curve C1, okay, and considering a point P on C1, let us join A and P. A and P will make, AP will make an angle of theta 1 with the x-axis. Here corresponding point, corresponding curve I have, and A dash P dash is making an angle of theta 1 dash with the u-axis. Okay, so with all of this, what we will do is, whatever I did with the curve C now and C dash, that can be continued for C1 and C1 dash. Okay, since the point of intersection is same, look at this, right? So whatever I did there, that same I can continue here as well. So from there, yes, referring the previous this, I can directly write continuing the same procedure for C1 and C1 dash. 1 minute. C1 and C1 dash. C1 and C1 dash. We can write limit as deltas. Instead of taking limit, directly I'll take angles now. Okay, because anyway this I can write theta 1 minus theta is equal to alpha. Okay, I will consider this equation B tending to A, it's a limit. Okay, so theta dash minus theta is going to alpha. So using this we can write, with the help of using this equation, we can write theta 1 dash minus theta 1 is equals to alpha. Why we can do this? See here, the point at which we are considering the derivative, or the point at which we are considering, look at this. We were discussing the derivative in the previous case also, as delta z tending to 0 means what? B was tending to A. Yes or no? Delta z tending to 0 means we are discussing the derivative at the point A for the curve C, along the curve C. Here also it was the same thing. Now, if I am considering it along C1, yes, if I am considering it along C1 at the same point A, yes or no? Because A is the point of intersection for of both the curves. So I can speak for the derivative of the function f of z along the curve C1 at the point A. Previously we took it along C. Now we will take it along C1. Okay. So the same, whatever we did with C, the same will repeat with the same point A. Yes or no? Now you have already learned any function. Yes. Any function, if it is a complex function, you have learnt before in the properties. The complex function, and by Cauchy's theorem also you have learnt it. The complex function, if it is differentiable, means it is analytic. Yes or no? Right? Any analytic function is differentiable at all the points. Now here it is differentiable. We know it. Okay. The derivative of that function at any point is irrespective or is independent of the path followed. Okay. If I take the derivative along C, then also the derivative of function at the point A will be same. Similarly, if I take the derivative along C1 for the same function f of z, then also the derivative of the point of the function at the point A will be same. Because of this I can directly state that along C1 also, theta 1 dash minus theta 1 should be equal to alpha, because that is also going to give you f dash of z, and it is unique, okay, irrespective of the path followed to take the derivative. Okay, because of this, these two things we can write. Now since they both are representing the derivative of the same function, okay, but following different paths, the derivative should be same. Because of that, the amplitude of the derivative should also be same, that is alpha. That's why I can write this. Okay, you can write here, since f dash of z does not vary, does not vary, does not vary, does not vary, f dash of z is independent, independent of the path. Yes, is independent of the path, and it will not vary at all. If you take different paths, its value, the derivative value will always be same. Okay, because of which, since I am taking along C, I have this thetas, I have this along C1. So equating both, we get theta 1 minus theta is equal to alpha, and that is equal to theta 1 dash minus theta 1, right? So you can take limit also, that's not a problem at all. Now after changing, interchanging, for now since we are considering only the angles, so I'm just removing the I'm just eliminating that limit and discussing that angles. Okay, so let us rearrange the terms. Now I can get my theta 1 to the left hand side. Theta 1 minus theta should be equal to theta 1 dash minus theta dash. So yes, look at this equation now. Theta 1 is an angle made by the curve, made by, it is theta 1 is because of the angles made by the curve C1, the point on the curve C1, right? Look at this, theta 1 is here, theta is here, right? Theta 1 minus theta is nothing but the angle between the two curves. Similarly, here theta 1 dash, here we have got theta 1 dash minus theta dash, okay, theta 1 dash minus theta dash. So it means what? Theta 1 dash is the angle made by C1 dash. Because of C1 dash we have got theta 1 dash, and because of C dash we have got theta dash. So theta 1 dash minus theta dash gives you the angle between the two curves here. Means we are proving the angle between the two curves in the Z plane is equal to the angle between the corresponding curves in the W plane, right? Hence at the point where, at the point of intersection where f dash of z is not equal to 0, right? So we have proved that wherever f dash of z is not equal to 0, at those points our function f of z, our analytic function f of z is conformal, okay, because it is preserving the angle along with its sense. Okay, I hope these points are clear to all of you. Okay, continue in my next session with some more important points. Okay, till then, thank you.